Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining me today because we're going to dive into a massive, frankly mind-blowing shift happening right now in the professional world. And it's a shift I actually just experienced firsthand. You see, I recently survived the absolute gauntlet that is the Japanese job hunting season. And let me tell you, the pressure is off the charts. Picture being right in the thick of it. Sure, everyone says it's a seller's market, which sounds great in theory, right? But the crushing weight of trying to find that perfect fit, of having to somehow magically stand out among hundreds of thousands of other highly qualified students, it takes a massive toll. You spend literally years earning your degree, pulling all-nighters, prepping for your future, and suddenly it feels like everything rides entirely on how flawlessly you can pitch yourself to a room of corporate strangers. But what if I told you that in the interview that finally landed me my dream job, the rules of the game were completely different? Imagine this for a second. What if your resume, your name, and your fancy university pedigree didn't matter at all? I want you to really imagine the sheer physical wave of relief that washes over you when you realize those traditional, highly stressful credentials might be completely bypassed. The exact moment I learned I wasn't going to be judged by a piece of paper or my school's ranking, man, it felt like a 10-ton weight was just lifted right off my chest. And the craziest part? This isn't some futuristic sci-fi concept. It's happening right now. It's completely reshaping how companies and applicants interact. And honestly, it totally saved my job hunt. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the generative AI dilemma, the breakdown of the entry sheet. So for decades, the entire hiring system basically relied on what we can call the paperwork problem. Let me paint a picture of that exhausting traditional grind for you. As a student applying to companies, I used to spend countless sleepless nights just filling out dozens, and I mean dozens, of endless company-specific application forms. For every single place I applied, I had to craft unique self-promotions and write these incredibly deep, reflective motivation essays, trying to guess exactly what that specific company wanted to hear. It creates this giant, super stressful hurdle before you even get the chance to speak to a single human being. Honestly, it genuinely feels like a full-time job just applying for jobs. Now, traditionally, those applications were supposed to be unique, highly personal essays that gave recruiters a little window into your soul. That was the theory anyway. But the modern reality? Radically different. Faced with that absolute mountain of paperwork and the desperate need to just survive the workload, my peers and I naturally turned to generative AI. I mean, we used these tools to write our applications because it was literally the only way to keep up. But suddenly, recruiters had a massive problem on their hands. When everyone is submitting essays written by an AI, the traditional entry sheet completely breaks down as a metric. Companies found it practically impossible to judge a student's true potential because every single application they got read like a perfectly polished, entirely soulless machine output. Which leads us right to Section 2, bypassing the paper trail, going straight to the interview. Because companies needed an immediate solution to this whole breakdown, they had to bypass the unreliable paper trail altogether. They needed a totally new way to find the right fit without wasting countless hours reading AI-generated essays. Well, an IT company located in Shizuoka Prefecture decided to pioneer a radical new approach. And when I first heard about their new recruitment flow, I honestly thought it was a joke. Step 1, they stopped asking students for company-specific forms and essays, just skipped the paperwork entirely. The amount of stress and time that saved me was unbelievable. Instead, Step 2, all applicants go straight to a 30-minute AI interview. And finally, Step 3, human HR staff actually sit down and study the recordings of those interviews to decide who advances to an in-person round. Think about what a 30-minute conversation actually feels like. Going into it, I'm not gonna lie, I was incredibly nervous about talking to a machine for half an hour. But during that session, the AI interviewer asked me questions from a variety of angles that felt remarkably natural and conversational. The goal wasn't to trick me or trip me up on weird technical jargon. The AI was genuinely trying to gather data to understand my personality and accurately evaluate my soft skills. It adapted to my answers, asked thoughtful follow-ups. It felt completely dynamic, totally engaging, and literally light years better than just submitting a static, potentially ghost-written essay into a corporate black hole. And you know, after I successfully made it through the process and actually got hired, my HR manager told me exactly why the recruiting team vastly prefers this new system. First, obviously, it completely bypasses the useless metric of AI-written entry sheets. There's no more guessing if a student actually wrote their essay. Second, the Shizuoka IT company reported that this method helped them develop an incredibly spot-on approach to finding candidates. The AI filter is just remarkably accurate at identifying traits that actually align with the company's core values. And third, it dramatically improves overall recruiting efficiency. HR teams are no longer burning hundreds of hours reading identical essays. They're only spending their valuable human hours interviewing the right people who've already proven their communication skills. So let's take this even further in Section 3, the avatar interview experience, stepping into the digital arena.
A different IT company, this one based in Osaka, decided to take this incredible tech a step further by completely rethinking the whole face-to-face element. We all know a traditional interview is an incredibly high-stress environment, right? You've got the sweaty palms, the judging eyes, and the second you walk in the door, there's an immediate potential for unconscious bias regarding the school you attended, your name, or even just your physical appearance. But entering the digital arena of an avatar interview, entirely different world. Both the students and the interviewers are represented digitally. It's this amazing, low-stress, anonymous environment where you are evaluated strictly on the actual content of your conversation. It is essentially a pure, blind audition for the corporate world.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific rules of this digital arena, because they are exactly what make it such a purely merit-based evaluation. Going through this, I actually got to design my own avatar, which right off the bat made the whole process feel way more comfortable and personalized. Crucially, at this stage in the process, the interviewers do not know the applicants' names. Furthermore, our university backgrounds and academic pedigrees are completely hidden. Because of these strict rules, the playing field is entirely leveled. The evaluations are conducted based solely on your conversational ability, your problem-solving skills, and your personality, entirely free from any corporate preconceptions. This brings me to my own breakthrough realization, which is a sentiment shared completely by other successful applicants like Tamaki Malika. He perfectly summarized the experience by saying, "Where I come from or how I look had nothing to do with the interview, only my personality mattered." Just imagine the profound emotional relief of experiencing that as a young, anxious job seeker. Just like Tamaki, I finally felt like I could comfortably demonstrate my true abilities and my genuine self during this interview. I wasn't busy trying to mask my nervousness or freaking out about whether my suit looked right. I was just having a great conversation about my passions and my skills. Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, a win-win hiring solution, success on both sides. I am living proof that this isn't just some passing experimental fad. It's a highly effective hiring model that creates incredible longevity and success. After successfully navigating his own avatar interview, Tamaki Malika was hired and has been working at that exact Osaka IT company for 3 years now. 3 years. And honestly, my experience mirrors his perfectly. It's a true testament to the fact that when you evaluate someone strictly on their core personality and their genuine communication skills, you find employees who truly fit into your company culture right from day one, and who have the passion and the foundation to thrive for years to come. Now that I am on the inside, the macro-level impact of this win-win outcome is incredibly clear to me. For companies, especially those fighting in the ultra-intense competitive market for IT talent, they desperately need new ways to attract the best minds. By introducing these avatar interviews, my company actually saw their number of applicants surge because top talent actively wants to avoid bias. And for us students, it removes all that stressful, unnecessary anxiety, allowing us to comfortably demonstrate who we really are. The great irony here is just fascinating. Generative AI initially caused a massive headache by flooding companies with machine-written essays. But by pivoting and using AI's interviewers and avatars, the whole process was saved, becoming drastically more efficient and allowing for much better, truly human-centric evaluations. So as someone who came out on the other side of this entirely reshaped process, I want to leave you with this little thought experiment to ponder. How might an avatar interview change the way you prepare for your next job hunt? If your resume, your school prestige, and your physical looks were completely off the table, how would you practice projecting your true personality and your actual skills? It's a fascinating, deeply liberating new world for job seekers and recruiters alike. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.